Good morning. So my name is Rosalina Michael and I have two channels. So one is Rosalina Michael for theology. The other one is Psycho at Work. So this one specifically is about psychology, to be emotionally healthy, emotionally stable, so that you cannot be spiritually manipulated. Alright, so this one specifically is, I'm going to be talking about betrayal, core wound, abandonment, core wound, core fears, and rejection, core wound. And the reason for this is because if we go through something as a child, we would have triggers as an adult, but we don't know where they're coming from and we don't know why they're there. And it can negatively affect those in your life now as an adult if you don't choose to heal. So one of the reasons for my channel and for my ministry, because I'm a life coach / pastor, is to help people find healing from everything, to be completely emotionally free. Because anything that controls you shouldn't control you. You should be living for God. You should be living free. So if there's anything that controls you, choosing to be set free from it is healthier. This is the point of my channel. This is the point of my ministry. So I'm a life coach. I teach people, I'm also a pastor. I teach people how to implement boundaries in their life, how to choose how to live happier. I teach people what are their boundaries by starting with what is a boundary, so that they can determine who's in their life and who affects them, directly affects them, to turn their life in a direction that makes them happy. So my thought is identify your core wounds, identify where they come from, and choose to heal. So betrayal wound is when a loved one, so someone you love, has violated your trust through their behavior. So behavior can be scandal or gossip. So it's somebody that you trusted and then they didn't say sorry and they didn't try to fix it. So it's betrayal because you loved them. And so you trusted them with something, or you trusted them to look after you and they didn't. Then abandonment is physical or emotional abandonment from a loved one. So it can be that you said, this is what I need, and they just kept dismissing and neglected. So then they've abandoned you emotionally, but they're there in other ways. And to a degree that subconsciously and in your heart, you felt like they stopped caring about what you need. And so an example of this can also be that if you say, this is what I need, and they just don't give you what you need, it can be taken as rejection. So you're saying through your behavior that I'm not loving you the way that you tell me I need to, and it becomes a wound because it's repetitive behavior. Core fears. So this can be general, this can be spiders, this can be animals, this can be relationships. Intense, deep-rooted fear. So it's intense because it's very, very strong. It's deep-rooted, meaning it's at your core. That's why I call it a core fear. It's connected, it can be connected to objects. So you're afraid of losing your house, you're afraid of losing your car. It can be connected to people, situations, but also others' behavior. So an example of this, when I was growing up in school, some of the people that I would spend time with in junior school, they would invite me to a party and they would be excluded from things. And I'd ask why, and they wouldn't give a reason, and then they'd ignore you for a few days. And that became a huge rejection wound, because you don't actually know why and what it is that you did. So I just actually learned not to have friends. So then it develops a fear of, if I say what I need and if I be myself, I lose people. So it develops a core fear. And then rejection. When people reject you and you were dependent on them and you love them. So a lot of the time, if it's not somebody that you love, so if it's your boss, you won't necessarily develop a core wound unless the boss takes something that was done and escalates it. Then you will have fear in the workplace going forward. But usually rejection is connected to somebody that you loved, that you were dependent on. So you could have been emotionally dependent on them. It could have been financially. In some cases, intentional rejection can leave you with core wounds. So if somebody unintentionally, if they forgot about a meeting or they turn up late to the meeting, it's not intentional, but if they intentionally exclude you from certain things and they don't explain why, it can develop a core wound. So a lot of the time it's probably somebody else's behavior that triggers your core issue. The problem with these 4 core wounds is they show up in adult behavior. So they show up when you're a parent, they show up in your marriage, they show up in your workplace. And you could accidentally hurt other people and influence other people with that core wound. So because you were rejected, you reject. So you're passing on the cycle. So the reason for this is that you would heal so that your family and your friends have peace in the relationship with you. Feel they can be authentic in who they are with you. The solution for it is to heal. And how do you heal? Journaling and talk therapy, because it's connected to emotions. So talk therapy means, when I do this, I feel like that. When this person says this, when this person has this reaction, I feel like that. It's unpacking the situation and the emotions attached to it that have happened throughout your life, and processing it and letting it go. So process it, don't ignore it, don't push it aside, process it and let it go. And journaling helps you to put your feelings and everything on paper so that you can have a look and see every year, every 6 months, how has your thinking changed, how have your emotions adapted. The reason for it is so that you can be emotionally healthy and stable for the sake of your family and of your direct friends in your inner circle. If you like these videos, let me know, leave comments in the comment section. If they're not nice comments, I'm going to delete you. If you feel like you want to financially support me as a life coach, I will leave my bank details in the description below. I will leave my email address and my cell phone number if you want to have counseling sessions with me. With some of my counseling sessions come booklets that I've created, so you can contact me and buy. I have certificates, I have qualifications, I have work experience in these fields. So the idea is to bring emotional and spiritual healing. The idea is to teach people boundaries. Stay tuned for the next video.